Hello, thank you so much for checking out this channel. Recently, GameRant posted an article stating that Final Fantasy XVI will be announced soon. Final Fantasy XV was released back in 2016, and let's just say had an interesting development path. However, with the recent release of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and the commercial success the game had, I'm sure Square Enix wants to capitalize on the resurging popularity of the series. So during this video, I will go over some of the news regarding the game. Usually with these videos, I have a structure going over the story, gameplay, company making the game, and offer predictions on where the story will go. But I think we know so little about the game at the moment, offering predictions would be a bit foolish. So I'll do my best to stick to the facts, or at least the facts stated in the articles. I could do a deep dive into Final Fantasy XVI when it is announced, and more news is out there, if there is interest. But for this video, I'll stick to what is known about the game. Now, without further delay, let's begin. According to Final Fantasy XIV's director, Naoki Yoshida, Final Fantasy games should only focus on fantasy elements, which seems like the series will go back to a more fantasy-like setting, instead of the mechanical world of Final Fantasy VII. I hope this is true. I am probably in the minority, but I prefer lush fields, dark forests, castles, and lore regarding witches, ghouls, wraiths, and other fantastical beasts to robots and machinery. I don't hate a sci-fi world involving robots. It's just after a while it begins to become boring for me, seeing an endless array of steel and metal. I know I said I would not make a prediction, and I will try not to anymore. But after hearing this news, I believe a perfect world to take inspiration from would be The Witcher 3. You can't get much more fantastical than CD Projekt Red's masterpiece, and games do this all the time. For example, I believe AC Origins said they were taking inspiration from The Witcher. Final Fantasy is a great franchise, and I bet they will want to shake things up coming into the new era, and there will be no better way to do so by building a world similar to one of the greatest games ever made, a game that has a similar tone to that of Final Fantasy. The leak claims that Final Fantasy XVI and a new IP from Square Enix, Crimson Arbitrum, will be unveiled this summer at a gaming event. There is two events where this may take place. Summer's Game Fest could be an option. On June 22nd, there is a developer showcase where they will announce indie and AAA games. However, I think it will most likely be announced at a PlayStation event. There is one on June 4th where they are supposed to show both first and third-party games. And if that date is accurate, we could get some news on Final Fantasy XVI. It's tricky. The virus has cancelled and shelved a lot of plans developers and studios had. Everything is up in the air right now, and hopefully things will get back to normal. However, at this moment, I think that is a pipe dream. Rumors are that Naoki Yoshida will take the helm as director for 16. He is thought to be responsible for turning around 14 and fixing the issues the game had. With his previous statements wanting the series to focus more on fantasy elements has me excited. He will no longer be fixing a game's mistakes, but will have control over what kind of game and tale he wants to tell. If he is given freedom, I'm sure he will be able to craft something special. Luckily, we have some news on what elements and tone Yoshida is going for with this game. The combat will be inspired by both Final Fantasy XV and Dark Souls. Now, I think by Dark Souls he means more of an action-oriented combat system, focusing on countering and timing strikes. not necessarily the difficulty level. Dark Souls is an intimidating name, and can turn a lot of people off. However, I think 16 will want to appeal to as many people as possible. A sophisticated combat system, where you have to think and observe your opponent's moves, would certainly be welcome. If this is true, I am certainly excited. We are moving into the next generation of gaming. A lot of eyes are focused on the industry right now, and I am sure developers and studios are going to give everything they have to deliver on the hype and anticipation. With the success of Final Fantasy VII Remake, 16 will have to deliver if they want to remain one of the most dominant games in the genre. The Witcher 3 changed the landscape of gaming. However, with Yoshida's track record, and if they are not rushed and given time to perfect their vision, I'm sure Final Fantasy XVI has a chance to be something great. Thank you so much for checking out this video, and I hope to talk to you again real soon.